It's Sunday, so I'm down in the east side of Vancouver, East Hastings, which is an area where we have the worst homeless, mental health, and drug addiction in Canada. It's a place that I know very well because I lived on the streets here for a little while. And, you know, as dark as it looks, the people are so freaking nice, man. Like, they're so nice. Like, I fill a wagon full of peanut butter and jam sandwiches and water, and, you know, people that we're taught to be afraid of or that will hurt us or put all this fear, anxiety, and labels around are just the nicest people, you know? They're always, oh, thank you, sir, you know? Thank you so much. You're an angel. You're a sweetheart. You're such a wonderful human. These are the things they tell me, you know? Somebody who's got their hood up, 4 hoodies up, you know, because they don't have coats and it's raining out and they got 4 hoods on. And they look at you, you know, with black hands and black on their face, but in the eyes are the window to the soul. You can see the soul, you can see the spirit, you can see the human, you know, and I see myself in it so much, you know, when I look at somebody on the street and I'm there to help them, and I can remember standing at like a traffic light with a hat and sunglasses on because I didn't want no one to know. You know, tears were streaming down my sunglasses because I couldn't believe the people that didn't know me cared. You know, it blew me away. And I'm here and I'm doing the same thing because I don't know these people, but I care. And that's a big deal these days, you know, like what has happened to kindness, empathy, compassion, you know, that's all cultivated within us, right? There's no sense in like blaming everyone else. It's just take a look at you and what you stand for. And one of the things that I've had to do again this year is reevaluate myself. You know, take a look at my last year and look at the person I want to become, you know, because I wasn't completely happy with a lot of the things I did last year. Yeah, I've made huge achievements in my life, but we never stop growing as individuals, you know, and compassion and empathy and seeing human beings like just with unconditional love is the greatest gift. You know, it's just such a wonderful thing to be a part of a community. And, you know, in North America, we don't really have communities. You know, we have areas of people that live by each other. But how many people do you know in that area? Because a community lives together, breathes together, parents together, educates together, eats together, checks on each other. That's a community, you know? And we don't have that here. But I learned about that in Asia. And, you know, in a place where it's a middle developed country as opposed to a first world country, we're taught on this side of the world that they have less. But what I found over there is they actually have more. They have less materialism, which is an illusion. It's something that's being sold to us, and we've been taught that we can buy happiness through these measures or through these means, but we have many examples of how it doesn't work. Materialism is just hollow. It's a joke, and it really is. It's a joke because that's what makes us over here a first world country, is the fact that we can buy expensive cars, buy expensive houses, but it just pulls us further and further away from each other. But you go into these areas like Asia, you know, you got like 15 people that live in the same home. Not only did they live in the same home, but they parent together. You know, you got 15 different hands holding the baby, but not just holding the baby, educating the baby from different perspectives, from different personalities, from different care points, which is just so, it's remarkable. You know, that's everything in life. If you know my stuff, you know that emotional traumas come from childhood. And emotional trauma doesn't have to be sexual or physical abuse. It can be abandonment. It can be neglect. For me, it was a lack of communication. You know, it led me to a 23-year drug addiction because I couldn't communicate about how I felt. Like, it's real, you know? And these are the things that are most valuable on the planet, not stuff. Materialism's a joke. It just really is. And the more we can come together and work together to grow into this evolution of love and to be a community within each other. I mean, there's people on here watching this right now that I've never met, yet I know. Do you know what I mean? Just because of what we've cultivated through this channel and the time and energy I put in to building and keeping these relationships because I value it. And that's a big part of why I believe we don't have communities, is because we don't value it. Because we all value this individual success, you know? to hit this point in life where we have defined success in our terms or in a term that's been sold to us. Because that's an interesting thing to talk about, success. You know, if I ask you what success means to you, define that to me. Ask yourself that. Because it seems to me that success has been sold to us in a manner that we have more than another individual. So if you've got the big house, the 2 expensive cars, the 2 kids, there may be no love in the home, and you may cheat on your wife or cheat on your husband every single night, no communication, no trust, no respect, but your bank account dictates ones and zeros that are greater than another individual in this country, we value that as being successful. And that's insane. It's totally nuts to think that success is defined by monetary gain. I mean, everything that matters comes from within. If you asked that husband or wife that was being cheated on every single day and those kids that were being neglected in that big house with those 2 cars would trade it all for attention, for love, for a friendship, for a family, for a community, of course they would. So success is an interesting one that I want you to really pay attention to in your life, because what are you moving towards? What do you work for? Do you work for a paycheck or do you work for love? You know, because me, I work for love in my life, right? I still got to go to work and do a job I don't want to do, for sure, for now, you know, while I grow this other thing and I get to the place I want to go. But you know what? I put love into it every day. I don't let the negativity and the drama and the things that don't align with my philosophy to affect me to the best of my ability. And if it does affect me, I check that, you know, and I pull it back real quick and I look at it and I go, you know what? Success to me, if you ask me what success is, it's happiness. It's happiness. It's being with somebody you love unconditionally and loving the people around you unconditionally. Success means being able to have a difficult conversation. You know, if you can speak your truth and have difficult conversations with people around you from a place of love, you are successful. Never forget the power of your voice. If you speak from a place of honesty and authenticity, but cultivate it from a place of love, I'm telling you, man, you're a force to be reckoned with. Because right now in this life, we need that. We need people to start speaking their truth, because let's be real, with the ways things are going in society, they're taking more and more and more away from us, which I say good. You want to raise the price of things? Go ahead. You know, you want to jack up the price and put a lot of fear, anxiety, and stress on us? For sure. I've been homeless. I know what happens when you take things away from people. You know what happens? You come together. So they don't know what they're doing right now by putting all this pressure and stress on the world and making the cost of living out of control for human beings. Because you know what this is going to do? When things get real dark, you gravitate towards the light. And that light is within each and every one of us. And at some point, we're going to realize that. And people like me and other people watching this are doing the same thing that I'm doing. You know, we are trying to bring this awareness of community, of connection, of this equality. Equality is the word. You know what I mean? A bank account with ones and zeros tells me I'm better than you, or the person sitting right over here right now on the street is less than me because I'm in a car and they're living on the street? Absolutely not. But that's what the current dictation of society tells us is acceptable. Because I'm in the car and they're on the street, so I shouldn't care. That's crazy. So by adopting these practices into your life of an awareness of equality, we're going to grow to this evolution into love. Because I'm going to tell you, it's going to happen. We're in it right now. The age of Aquarius is a big shift. And there's an awakening happening. And it's not some bullshit mentality. You know, if you're on a spiritual path, you don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because you do this shit inside of you. Right? This is what it is. This is where the power comes. It comes from within you. It's not about ego and bragging about it on the outside world, man. It's not about that. All I care about is for you to find your power within you and speak your truth. I found mine. I took it back. I do things in my life the way I do them. You know, nothing I do, I never tell anyone what to do. I just share experiences that really help me grow higher into this higher vibrational frequency, this light that lives inside of you, this connection to source. The connection to source is just a connection to everything and everyone. But it comes with gratitude. Like, to be connected to you right now through this phone, I'm eternally grateful. Like, I can't even, you know, there's people watching this. I'm so grateful for that. because we're able to share a vibrational frequency through this little mechanism, this little device, which is pretty incredible to do. But what I'm doing is we're exchanging vibrational frequencies, and this is how we can grow into this collective. I mean, this is real. This is so real. Everything we've been taught is bullshit. Everything is a distraction and to keep us afraid. We should be so afraid of ourselves that we don't use our voice and we don't practice using your voice. And I say, forget that shit. There's no such things as mistakes in life, okay? If you look at your life and you're not proud of it and you say, oh, I made so many mistakes in my life, that's not a mistake. It's education. All it is that we're here to do is learn through experience. Some of us have some really difficult experiences. I mean, my journey, there's no comparison. Everyone's on their own journey. But my journey led me to understand the street, to understand drug addiction, to understand so many things about myself. The world may say it was wrong. I don't give a shit what the world says, because the education that I gained from my difficult journey that the world said was shit has brought me to the light. So, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. So look at your journey, your experience for this life as an asset to help you move forward in the future, to grow into love. There is no structure of I'm better than you, you're better than me. Forget that, man. That's just an illusion. That's ego that'll tell you you're better or worse. But just check it. It's real simple because you just become aware of it. And once you start becoming aware of ego, you can start to build a relationship with ego, and you can say, you know what, that's not me. That person's homeless right there. You know what, I'm going to go check them because I understand equality. I understand that human beings, a part of a human race, means we're from the same species. And because we're from the same species, we should probably check on each other. Because that's what I do in my life. I don't care about the agenda that's been sold to me that tells me I'm better because I'm sitting in the car and they're in the tent. No, that's not for me because I think for myself. And that's a really valuable tool to think for yourself. So be very careful about who you hang out with. The information that you pour into your mind, this thing is so valuable. Right here, because it's the connection to your heart. Not enough of us think from our heart. We're stuck up in here. So I'm going to give you that for this conversation is be very careful what you put in here. Your heart is constantly trying to speak to you. I mean, if you're able to pull your attention into your heart. I mean, even me, I practice quite a bit and I struggle with it sometimes as well. But I'm very conscious of being out of my head, right? Because I'm very careful with what goes into my mind. I don't watch pornography. I'm very careful about the people I surround myself with. I'm very careful about the words I use. Like, this is all really important, for you to take into your life in order for you to grow into the individual that you want to be. Because you are in control of that. You have that power. If you just give your power away to all these people that are talking shit and doing things that you don't want to do, well, then you're a part of it. You know what I mean? There's no one to blame for that. It's like you are the one putting yourself in that situation, or you're the one turning on the computer and taking in the news or watching the television or whatever it may be. You have that power to choose that. That's my rant for today. It's just like, man, it's time. You know what I'm saying? It's time. It's absolutely time we start having these conversations. But it's not just about the conversation. Sure, I could talk about it. I could bring in awareness to your life. The awareness is a beautiful thing, because then you're going to start thinking about it. But action, man. You've got to become the person you want to be through action. Talk is cheap, I don't mind doing these conversations and having this because this is the tool I've got to use, and until I can get to the place where I can fill gymnasiums or schools or churches or whatever it may be with a bunch of people and give them my vibrational frequency right face to face, I got to use this tool. But all I can do is share that, even in my life, I make mistakes, and I learn and I learn and I learn, and I just keep looking at it as education. I don't always get it right. I don't. And I don't want to be better. So this year I'm going to be better. But I'm going to talk about that too. I don't want to come off this thing like I'm human, man. Like, difficult journey, difficult lessons is something that we learn by. I don't want to learn through difficult lessons anymore. So I'm going to do my best to pay attention to the education that I'm learning from and apply it into my life just through action. So, something to think about. Thank you all for watching. Last thing, check out my podcast, Real Talk for an Unreal World. It's on Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, Apple, Samsung, Google, podcasts, and iHeartRadio. It's good stuff. It talks like this. I speak from the heart, and it helps bring an awareness into your life. You can find it at Real Talk for an Unreal World. Yeah, check that out. I got an Instagram thing, all these kind of things. So this year I'm trying to turn it up and make it even more. We're going to get louder, we're going to get bigger, and we're going to come closer together. So much love. Enjoy your Sunday. Love your family. Do something cool. If you haven't talked to somebody in a long time, maybe call them up. Maybe send them a text and just say, hey, I'm ready to see life from a different angle, because resentment, guilt, shame, regret, kind of shit holds you back. So those dense, energetic emotions, you got to move through. Okay, you got to move through and process that. And, maybe we'll talk about that next week. Processing emotions. I've learned a lot about this, and I apply them into my life. And I'm currently on a new journey within myself, which I will speak about this year. But it's for someone who spent over half of his life doing drug addiction, and then I am not addicted to drugs anymore, almost 3 years. But damn, the doors inside of me that I closed and the exterior that I built up was very hard, and I will journey through that this year. So it's gonna be some sticky shit, but I'll talk about it. So I'll talk about it here. I'll talk about it on my podcast. Is kind of where my direction is going. So yeah, I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and just be cool to each other, and equality, right? Like that's everything in life, man. Don't let anybody sell you on an idea, and if they're selling you on an idea, get rid of it. Speak your truth and stick to who you are. It doesn't matter about being accepted by nobody. Just accept yourself, because man, when you accept yourself, you don't need nobody, right? It's a big thing, and your tribe, your vibe will become your tribe. You know what I'm saying? So who you are and how you vibrate, you'll attract those people, and you'll be very conscious of energies that are coming into that circle. So much love. Have a wonderful day.